Now, this isn't our secret. This is what I've called our platform enabler and the extension to our platform. Because it occurred to me really, about 3 years ago, when the amount of video content that I was developing and my own desire to improve things, it just became obvious to me that I needed a video production studio. I needed to have something like that to get the next level of content out there. I didn't have to be, you know, the BBC. I didn't have to be, you know, one of these highfalutin productions that you see all over YouTube that, you know, get everybody's juices flowing. That's all well and good. There's a role for that. But what I wanted was really scalable, decent quality, watchable content that basically delivers value. And you don't have to, you know, have a Hollywood studio to be able to do that. You just have to be able to parlay and showcase your expertise in an interesting way. So it is a platform extension for us in so much as it allows us to produce content that's just unique each time we publish it. When if you think about it, Hong Kong immigration, there's only so many ways you can answer the question, what's the minimum salary for a Hong Kong employment visa, right? And, you know, and I've been publishing for 4 years now, and I must have answered that question quite a few times by now. But what you'll never see is that question being answered visually the same way. Because I knew, and I know, as you'll see in a moment, when people come onto our websites, they're coming for a particular reason. They're not coming to enjoy the art. You know, they're not coming because I'm so infused with a bubbly personality that they come away from the encounter, you know, wanting to, you know, thank me forever. They're coming because they've got a particular problem and they need to know what the answer is. So as far as I'm concerned, as long as I can put content out there that allows people to find the answer to the question in the fastest possible time, it doesn't matter whether I've answered it 25 times previously, as long as I haven't replicated it in exactly the same way. Because every time I answer that question, I can answer it with any number of spins, and I try and do that to make it interesting. But also visually as well. I've got a fantastic colleague, Chirag, who's responsible for the majority of our post-production work, and you see the stuff that he comes back with, it's superb, and I think, great, you know, people on beaches and like all kind of disassociative stuff you would never imagine associated with Hong Kong immigration. But the intention is just to surprise people for that moment in time, for that 1.5 minutes that they're, you know, watching me talk about my stuff. I want it to be interesting for them, you know, just to the point where they go, oh, that wasn't boring. Right? That's the best you can hope for with my kind of material when you get right down to it. So Video Chatter gives us that capability. It also is an enabler because it means that when we're not using our resources for these types of productions, you know, we can sponsor events around town where we'll go and we'll, like, for example, Startup Grind and for DigiMeet, and there's a few other things where we just make our video resources for free. And then because we don't have the studio going 24/7, it means that we can offer gifts to people that attend various events. And so we're able to, you know, parlay ourselves into the community that much further without talking about wanting to take money off people to solve their immigration problems, but just give something back. Particularly because, you know, I know this stuff works. I know it works. The question is, do you? You know, I'm sharing everything with you now, barring the secret, right? And I started this from nothing. Nothing. And it's all been as a result of doing this. So if I can do it, why can't you? Now you might say, well, you know, you've got Hong Kong immigration, right? It's 17,000 people use the immigration service each year, and you can get a large portion of that and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but that's not the issue. You know, Seth Godin says, to make a living out of the platform, you need 1,000 true fans. That's it. If you've got 1,000 true fans, those 1,000 true fans will spend with you every year whatever you want to sell them to the tune of $100 US. So if you take these concepts and apply them to your niche and understand the value that you can deliver to your tribe, and ask yourself, can you potentially deliver so much value to your tribe that they would happily part with $100 US a year to you. That's 1,000 of them. That's the challenge. Now, I didn't start off like that. I started off by knowing what my niche was all about, and I knew how big it was. But there's nothing stopping you from achieving the things that I've achieved at all if you apply these concepts. And Video Chacha is designed to promote that idea that, you know, go and make some high quality video, and even if you pay for it, it's $1,000 an hour Hong Kong. You can take your $1,000 Hong Kong dollars and come into the studio, and you can get perhaps 10 talk to camera pieces from the auto cue out of that, and then you take your footage home and put it on your Mac or your Windows machine, and then you do your own post-production. You've now got, effectively, depending on how often you post, 3 months worth of video content for your website that's cost you less than 1,000 Hong Kong dollars plus some of your time. It's all there to be had. And I put this together because this is what I was looking for when I started out, and of course it wasn't available.